Hello there. I thought it would be a little bit easier if I replied via video because it's harder to get all that out on a text. So as far as thank you, by the way, for all of your input, even your post that you made. I shouldn't say even your post. I just thought about that, so I wanted to throw that one in there as well. It's definitely very sensitive. Someone actually said once, and I thought it was kind of interesting. He said, offenses are like splinters. He said, you know how you get a splinter in your finger and you don't deal with it because you know it's going to hurt trying to get it out. So you just kind of let it go. And what happens later is you hit your hand on something. Now that pain is back and it's worse than it was before because it's had time to fester. That's a challenge. Again, it's had time to fester. And I think, on the violence side of it, I think we're seeing a lot of violence that we're seeing, not because of so much the initial what has just happened, but it's been years and years and decades of injustices and people, as you mentioned about being held accountable, people not being held accountable for the injustices that they've done. When you've seen that happen over and over and over again, it's hard to have faith in the system. You want there to be justice, but when you don't see that, it's just really difficult and it's challenging. And so you want to channel that anger in the right direction. And some of us can do a little better a job of that than others can. And it doesn't justify any of it. Violence, responding to violence with violence is never, ever, ever the right way to go. It's just that, again, it's that scab that's pulled off of that wound that's never had an opportunity to really heal. Or when you're thinking it's starting to heal, all of a sudden that scab gets pulled back again. And I think that's what we're seeing in the media. I don't know if you had an opportunity to listen to not the governor, but the mayor of Georgia, as well as the mayor of St. Paul. I listened to both of them today, and they had such a profound, not really profound, that's not the right word, their heart. I could see their heart, especially the governor of Atlanta, just so passionate about what she was sharing. I could feel her words, like I'm sure anyone could. And I loved how she, talked about the tragedy of what happened to Mr. Lloyd, as well as, the violence that was going on in the city. And I think the gentleman, the mayor from St. Paul, did the exact same thing. So I thought they did a great job. I don't know if I can say that racism is not a problem, because it is a problem. And I say that because when you've experienced it for the first time, you have a different perspective on it. I'll say quickly, Tyra Banks, she's a very beautiful woman, and she, on one of her shows, dressed up as a very overweight person, and she went into the community dressed that way for the whole day. And by the end of the day, she was in tears. She was so in tears and broken because she had no idea that people that were overweight to that degree were treated the way that they were. She had no idea because she had been beautiful and been treated, wonderfully in places that she, has gone and has never had to experience that at all. And now she has a greater perspective. That's something that overweight people could have told her, but she would never know what that truly was like outside of experiencing it for herself. So I say that to say, I don't know if I could agree that, we do have a lot of problems, but I think racial injustice and racism is definitely a problem as well. And as far as I'm concerned, racism on any level, no matter what you look like, whether you're brown, white, yellow, pink, whatever, if you have issues against other people that are different than you, and especially when those issues are not validated, that's not okay. and if they are validated, what's the most productive way to deal with that, so anyway, that's my 2 cents. But I thought the clip that I sent you, I thought that it was just well said, and I thought the prayer at the end was really nice, so I thought I would share it with a few people. But this is clearly a sensitive topic, and I think sometimes when you haven't had to live some of those things, it's a little bit more difficult to have a similar perspective. I hope that makes sense. And again, I welcome your feedback. I didn't say that before, but I do welcome your feedback. So anyway, talk to you later. I hope all is well. Bye.